unmute my camera a little bit. I'm going to just quickly review what we're going to go over today and how it should work, and then we're going to hop right into it. So your supervisors were notified at the end of last week about the agenda today. We asked them to identify a common concern, either from patient surveys or from recent groups evaluation, depending on whether you're a department or a location, and identify that common concern and that they wanted to address today in the meeting. There's one person out there that's not muted, if you don't mind. Then I've provided them a document to put that on, to write down that common concern. And we're going to break up into locations and departments, and we're going to permit you all to brainstorm and work through and identify some solutions for addressing that common concern. We're going to give you 25 minutes to work through that. You should come up with some goals and objectives, ideally something that's measurable. The other guidance I gave your supervisors that I'll share with you is we tend to want to get a little bit lengthy in some of our discussions, and maybe even story tell a little bit and say, well, I had this one patient who blah, 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 and go off for 10 minutes. Well, we've only got 25. So this isn't really an opportunity to story tell, but to really solution find. So please help us by just staying right on that task. Once we end, we have the order in which we're going to go through, and everyone's going to have the opportunity to have a spokesperson share what your group came up with in 2 minutes or less. As a reminder for the technology, the only thing that you will do is you will unmute your phone, not the Hangout. So unmute your phone and go through and share with us what goals and objectives, what your concern was, of course, first, and then your goals and objectives. And that's what we plan to achieve for the meeting today. So we're really excited to hear your ideas and thoughts about how you can address some of the common concerns. And with that, we will start the 25-minute timer. Good luck, have fun, and we will be back with Fruta on first in 25 minutes. I don't know if that's necessary. All right, everyone, that was good. We had a really productive discussion here. Hope you did too. Gonna turn the time over to Fruta.
Hey guys, this is Trishan Fruta. Our common concern we came up with was our wait time. And our objectives to address the concern for reception and scheduling are to inform the patient of the approximate wait time on check-in, so they're prepared for that. And then to schedule specific time slots on scheduled templates, which we've been trying these out the past last week and some of this week. For medical assistance, keeping the patient informed of wait times after they're being roomed. If it's taking a minute, go back in there and just let them know that it'll be however long, and keeping the provider updated on patients in rooms, and keeping the provider updated on how long she's spending in the room. And then for the provider here, Diana has a timer that she's going to start using. She spends a specific amount of time in the room.
Interesting. So any ideas on how you might measure your improvement at the end of the day, at the end of the quarter, how you're going to go back and say it's gotten better or worse?
So on our surveys, then that is our biggest flaw, I guess. So we're going to probably just go off, we plan on going off surveys.
Okay, that's great. Perfect. Thank you very much. Great ideas. Can't wait to hear more about how that turns out.
Thank you.
Clifton.
Yes.
You can show us your smiling face. That's all right.
I'm going to be like the side of my head. I'm trying to lean over and talk into the phone.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we have the same complaint. That was the one that came up the most common on our patient surveys, was the wait time. You know, patients kind of being upset that they've been back in the rooms or the waiting room too long. We kind of fail to realize that we are a walk-in clinic, so there's going to be a wait time. But our receptionists, and we've already kind of been doing some of these things, but we could definitely improve upon them. Reception and scheduling, we suggested that as well, to let the patient know their wait time upon arrival. And then also touch base with them kind of throughout their wait in the lobby. So they'll let them know when they're up next, or, kind of how much longer of a wait they have, so that they don't feel like they've been forgotten about. Medical assistance, again, check in on the patients, let them know they haven't been forgotten about, offer them, a glass of water while they wait, and keep them in the loop on their care when they'll be seeing what's going on. If we're in a procedure where she's just finishing up, kind of let us know that where their place is next in line. And then for the providers, for them to kind of let the patients know, that they apologize for the wait as well, give the utmost care so that way the patient doesn't feel like their wait, or, that they feel like their wait was worth the time. As long as they're kind of kept track of throughout the course of their wait, it may kind of make them a little bit less upset by the end of their visit. Same thing with Fruta. Our patient surveys is kind of fallen by the wayside while we've been working on Greenway, but we've been trying to get back in the swing of those. So hopefully that will reflect if we've been working on patient satisfaction with that.
Awesome. I love the ideas. Really excited to hear what you guys have going on. So thank you again. Cedar Edge.
Yeah, hi. Our main concern, we didn't have a lot on the surveys
less time. So our options, we think, are to transfer to voicemail sooner versus later when people call and someone else is busy that they want to talk to. Checking on possible auto attendants to where they have, they reach an auto attendant when they call in. We're not sure of that one. Maybe give Becca more scheduling rights so she can adjust appointments when things like that come up, because she doesn't have that right. And for our provider, he tends to get a little wordy at times when we are having communications and there's someone call in. So we're going to attempt to keep those conversations to a minimum to where we can get to anybody on the phone quicker. And so thought by monitoring that, we can keep a tally mark of any time that the phone rings back, because it has like a so many second call back and it rings back at our desk. And just make sure that number decreases as time goes on. And that's what we have.
Awesome. More great ideas. Our providers are never wordy though. I don't know where that comes from. But.
Yeah.
Thanks. Awesome. Nevada, share us your ideas.
So our is patients not getting called back in a timely manner. So for reception and scheduling, the way that they would assist us with that is we have a lot of narcotic prescriptions that get printed out. And if we place those up front, reception will call the patient, let them know that they can come and pick it up. In simple patient calls that we call and have to leave a message to call us back on normal labs if we have questions. Reception can address that and just reiterate that the patient's stats were normal. When it comes to providers, if they could add some more details with their responses, we don't know what some of those big words are. We didn't go to school for it, so they could do that. That'd be awesome. Use the marking for high, low, and medium priority. And then when it comes to labs, if they could use one task to document all labs instead of a task for each lab that they had done. For medical assistants, the way that we can do better is protocol on triage and labs. When we have a good staff on hand that day, the person doing triage and labs can also help in our buckets, in our task buckets, to call on some of those labs. Just teamwork on checking all the task buckets, not just our own, and then triage appropriately instead of writing down your patient conversation and then asking the doctor what they would recommend. Just triage that appropriately. Then your documentation to the provider of the FYI if change anything. If not, just wait for the callback from the patient to let us know if our triage worked appropriately. That's all we have.
Great. Good ideas. Fifth.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, it's Rachel at South Fifth. I just want to share, in looking over all of these surveys that we've collected, I think the scores are high, which is a good sign. So I'd like to congratulate everybody on their hard work and how that's reflected on these surveys. The big thing that we've identified is how to address the high volume of patients that we have and phone calls, because the volume of patients and phone calls is impacting a lot of different things, mainly our parking availability and how the patients are feeling when they walk into our place. They feel like it's a zoo, it's a supermarket, it's just a lot of chaos up front with the phones ringing and the volume of people coming through our doors. So for starting reception scheduling, we thought about the possibility of what would it take to have help with the phones. And I know that the call center was something that was discussed, and I think that we should continue to give serious consideration to that. Also, with regarding timeliness of getting checked in. The patients will come to the front, but there's so much on, and for various reasons, people pulled off task, and you miss that actual check-in button. And then the patient is sitting and waiting, and then the back office is not realizing that the patient is actually here. So that kind of flows into help from the back office, from our MAs to be mindful of their schedule. And if they realize that it's on time or a few minutes after time for their patient to be there, and they don't see that it's checked in, that they're partnering with the people at the front desk to come up and check to see if the patient is actually there or not. And then from our providers, the idea is to help with the volume of patients all coming in from 8 to 5, that we should give consideration to possibly extending our hours so it dilutes the amount of patients we have here all at one time. That's what we've got from South Fifth.
Wow, some big ideas there. Love it. Townsend.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Alrighty. On the Townsend location, we had, let me read it. Lab results not called in a timely manner, and too quick upfront on collecting copays. So we decided with the lab results, sometimes the communication and the length of time the tests are coming with like a 48-hour period, and sometimes our providers don't work Fridays or Mondays, so just make sure the patient is aware of that. The too quick upfront on collection. We kind of hesitant on that just because we have some patients just walk out. But after they're done filling out their paperwork, have them ask for the copay. That's all I had on that.
Great. Montrose Urgent Care.
The urgent care, there was a lot of them that were complaining about the long wait. No name tags, as in MAs not introducing themselves, or they're not able to know who they're talking to. Another one was the front desk being really pushy about the reason of visit when the room is full.
Great. What's the one that you wanted to address?
The front desk being pushy for reason of visit.
Okay.
We have check-in cards, so just make sure that they have that filled out, and then go from there.
Okay. Excited to hear. I hope you guys continue that conversation and continue to brainstorm different ideas of how to address that. Care management.
Where did I go? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, Chantel and I haven't had a chance to go over this in person together. And as far as history, we didn't get specific comments.
I think, Chantel, did you have a few things to share that you had been worked on?
Thank you. Yeah, we were I was thinking about doing the emphasizing for the value of care management services, and that would be the common concern to address. And then some of the objectives that we would do would be to grow the number of the patients in the CCM program. We would give clear and concise information to the patient regarding like copays, details of the program, and specifics. And then we would be making the service valuable to the patient. And then we would provide information to all the locations about the chronic care management program.
Exciting. Can't wait to see where that goes and what ideas we can continue to develop and support you with on that. Records. Pearl?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were not surveyed, and I did look at your suggestion on going into the group evaluations. The issue that was mentioned in our last survey has been taken care of, and we have no complaints currently on that. So moving forward, I had sent out a message to all the site supervisors asking for their input on some of their concerns as it pertains to our department. We had one response from Marilyn. Nobody else sent me a response, so that's good for my team. Her concern was that they do a lot of same-day appointments, and those appointments are moving forward without the records from QHN in those patient charts. So Sonia and I are going to, I will be taking over the Cedar Edge office, and we'll be doing a daily schedule. And then I'm going to backtrack to the previous day and pull over those QHN records as well. So that for any further follow-ups, there will be for those patients.
Great. Thank you. On to bookkeeping.
So Cindy and I discussed common concern of payroll errors and being notified by employees if there are any corrections needing to be done. Something we want to look into and try to improve. And our steps that we want to take, we have several here. When we're double checking payroll, we're going to slow down a little bit and check everything, not just what we adjusted for. And we also, on the reviewing of the paychecks, when employees receive their email notification that your check has been processed and ready to view, after reviewing a check, letting us know as soon as possible if there's something that needs corrected. We ran into a situation about a month or so ago where there was a problem and it was on a weekend day and it was a holiday and we couldn't really do anything till the following week. So we want to try to make sure we address it right away. And another step that would be helpful is to make sure everyone is signed up. All the employees are signed up to view my paycheck. So we're going to reach out to the site supervisors to have them check with their employees to see if anybody's not set up, and then finding out who those people are, reaching out to them, make sure they're all set up and ready to go. That's what we're going to do.
All right, sounds good, Casey. Thank you for sharing. And this is actually, sorry.
Just hit the camera button.
Oh, there it is. Here I am. Hey guys. So I wanted to share leadership's kind of improvements and what we plan to do. Some common themes that we've realized in leadership from staff members is that you guys are wanting more communication. And things we've done to try to improve communication would be the Karen. Hopefully everyone's reading that. And then starting to document our processes within the clinic, whether that's clinical or just process related at the front desk. Things that we're going to do to better improve communication for you guys. Dean, Corey, and I are going to start doing a 15-minute phone call weekly with supervisors so we can keep our finger on the pulse of every location of what's going on. Additionally, we will be committing ourselves to being at a site for a half day each week. So 1 day a week for a half day, we will be somewhere so that you guys can communicate with us. So look forward to that. And then also we'll be doing a weekly email update with our supervisors to make sure that we're still all on the same page and have all the same information. So that's our plan.
Cool, great. And we're right on time. So everything's gone really good. I'm excited about all these projects that we've come up with. Supervisors, if you would, scan the notes that you took on your the sheet that we provided you. Email those in to Laura. We're going to follow up with you on these. We're going to keep a close eye and see what we can do to help you see these projects and come to fruition and see your goals met. So thanks again. Hopefully it's been a productive meeting and time for you. I enjoyed it.
Are we going to quarter the whole group?
Dean was just verifying that we're going to come back in an all-staff meeting 3 months from now. We'll go back over these, and we're going to measure our improvements and see what's been accomplished. So I look forward to that, and keep these projects alive and going in your various offices and departments. Thanks again. Have a great day.